Joining me now is Pennsylvania Senate candidate Dr. Mehmet Oz. Dr. Oz, we have a great audience here tonight in New York. And they're all very excited about what's going to happen on Tuesday. But what does it say about John Fetterman that he really refuses to talk about the policies, what's happening to the people of Pennsylvania with the sabotage of our energy independence as we're going into the cold weather months in the winter? What can we make of this?
Well, this entire campaign, he's avoided talking about the kitchen table issues that are plaguing Pennsylvanians. You mentioned energy policy. I'm in the middle of the state here. There's a lot of gas right beneath my feet. Natural gas is, of course, a huge opportunity for the people of Pennsylvania and our local communities, but it also would reduce inflation because energy prices drive about a third of that. It's great for national security. If you care about that, it can help our allies overseas. It makes us more formidable for our enemies. Everyone here in Pennsylvania knows that, Laura. If you go to a diner, which I did today, they'll start lecturing you. The person serving you coffee knows a ton about energy policy. And the question becomes, why won't John Fetterman own this? It's because he's stuck in a rigid ideology. He has this belief that the Green New Deal is the only way forward. And he has been dismissive of the energy industry here for his entire tenure, called it a stain on Pennsylvania, argued that there should be a moratorium on drilling, and has said pretty harsh things that are really difficult for the people who are actually working in these industries and manufacturing to tolerate. But he's tried to flip-flop on that. He's not done a good job with it. And people have called him out for it, and he can't defend himself. That's just an example of his weak positions on crime, on drugs with an open border, and his weak positions on the economy in general. It's why we're going to win on Tuesday. Because while I was talking about issues that are important to Pennsylvania taxpayers, John Fetterman's been making ad hominem attacks on me. And after a while, it just becomes gossip. It doesn't have the impact because it doesn't make people's lives better. I want to bring balance to Washington, get rid of the extremist ideas that John Fetterman espouses.
Well, to that point, Fetterman recently had the nerve to brag about his disastrous crime record. Watch.
The very truth is that I'm the only candidate in this race that actually had hands-on kinds of experience against fighting against crime. As I was the four-term mayor of a community for almost 14 years, and I made gun violence as really at the center of all of my focus there.
Now, given his background, Dr. Oz, how can he credibly claim to have a strong stance on crime, given his views on bail reform and policing and everything else? I mean, how does this add up?
He can't, and violence increased in the small town that he was mayor of. In fact, the population shrunk by about 25%, and the police of that community have supported me. I've been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police because they know John Fetterman doesn't have their back. It's all a concocted image of a man who doesn't actually offer what he's promising. And if you're upset about this, American, you should be. The night of our debate, he raised over $2 million. So please go to droz.com and support my effort. The Democrats are trying to bribe this seat. They're trying to buy the seat because they know they don't have a candidate who has been able to express why his extreme views make sense, because they're not views that align with the values of Pennsylvanians. We know exactly what we want. We can balance a budget. We know how to deal with crime, let people do their jobs, especially cops. Make sure the border's secure. That way you'll shut down the cartels that are bringing fentanyl, that are taking the lives of young Pennsylvanians every single day.
All right,
We're
Dr.
top 5
Oz, we
in
have
the
a
country
question
for
from the
fentanyl overdose
audience.
deaths.
Michael Duke from Scottsdale has a question. Michael.
Good evening, Dr. Oz. My question for you is, with the prospect of Republicans regaining majorities in both chambers of Congress, what are you prepared to do to combat these issues that President Biden has presented to the nation, such as a record high CPI, record high gas prices, and just an overall high cost of living?
Well, the number one and easiest move is to free us to be able to drill on federal lands. Those federal lands are mine and yours and Laura's and everyone else is watching. And there's no reason that within a week of being inaugurated, Biden was able to ban and continue to ban drilling in those areas. We also have to send a message to the energy industry that we actually believe that they're important for the success of our nation. These folks are living in fear right now. John Fetterman, my opponent, said he was going to prosecute energy leaders, job creators in Pennsylvania because they didn't like what they were doing. Energy is a commodity. If you want to make more of it so it's less expensive, free people, unleash people to be able to do just that. Here in Pennsylvania, we have a wonderful opportunity to do that. There's no reason why any Democratic leader should be against this. They do it because it's a way of signaling to folks in the Democratic Party that they care about the environment. But I'll tell you, the best way to protect our environment is to get natural gas out of the ground right beneath my feet here. It preserves our environment.
Yeah, oil is a lot dirtier than natural gas, as everyone knows. So they're actually working against their own interests with attacking fracking. Dr. Oz, great to see you. Thank you for joining us, and good luck on Tuesday. We'll have you back on Wednesday or Thursday after you win. Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.